How's it going, you beautiful people? This is Griffdog here for another episode of Griffdog's Diecast of the Week. We got two nice spanking looking cars here, and let's just get started. So the first car here is Kasey Kahne's 2016 Farmers Insurance Chevrolet. Now, the reason I'm using this car is because it's 2017, it's the same looking car. There's no point in getting the 2017 car because it looks exactly like this. So I'll give you guys a quick tour of the car here. It's black, Farmers Insurance here on the hood. You got some red here on the front. I'm going to talk a little more about that later. You got this arrow design here on the back. Then you got the blue here on the side. Then you got the black here on the back. Then you got the black here on the rear deck lid. Black on the top. Then you got the blue here on the side with Valvoline over there. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, and I'm not entirely a fan of this, but in my opinion, there's just too much black on this car. And in my personal opinion, black is not necessarily good, and I don't think black is really pretty, and I don't think it can really get the job done. As of right now, the only real car I can think of that black works with is Dale Earnhardt. The previous cars that Kasey Kahne had, the ones that were more blue, those ones were better than this. And I think it might just be because of how dark the actual blue is here on the back. And so I wish maybe like if the blue was a bit brighter or if it's a bit noticeable, then I could probably accept the black more. But since the blue and black are almost the same color, it just doesn't work for me. Now the one thing I do have to say that works is the decals. I love how big the Farmers logo is because it really screams that this is a Farmers Insurance car. And it really shows here on the front as well. Farmers. We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum. Now, don't get me wrong. The design on this car is really nice. And if I remember correctly, the arrow design that they have going on, it was actually a contest. Kasey Kahne had 4 different choices of what car to drive in. I think it was 2015. And this was the winner. And I mean, the actual design is fine. It's just, again, the color isn't really good. And then the other thing I'm a little concerned about here is the front. You see how they have that little slew of red? I don't understand why that's there. And I also, like, I think the reason why the red is there is because you have the red here on top. But, I don't know. I just feel like that's a little random to have there on the front. And I feel like the red could be used better throughout the car. However, this does make the car unique. And I do appreciate that. I always appreciate when a car tries to stand out from the rest of the competition looks-wise. And I definitely think Kasey Kahne's car did that. And then the last thing I want to bring up is that they are indeed an insurance company. And it actually shows, because on the front, it is Farmers Insurance. Farmers isn't going to sell you food or sell you diecasts or anything like that. They sell insurance, and it says that right on the front. Which is why I had the problem with the Smithfield car, which you see is back here. The reason why I wasn't too sure about that car is because I wasn't too sure what they were selling. Like, I get it, Smithfield Foods, but it just says Smithfield on there, and so you have no idea what they're promoting. So overall, good looking car. However, I'm going to give it 3 stars though out of 5. And simply, that's just because it's a good looking car. Like, it's a high 3, but nevertheless, it's a 3. And that's just because the colors on this car, I think, are too dark. And then you have this random slew of red here on the front. But you know what? It's just one man's opinion. Some people could think that it's the best looking car. And you know what? Good for you. I just don't see it the same way. Now, speaking of seeing, the next car that I want you guys to see is the first ever 5 car that I ever got. And this is Terry Labonte's 1997 Kellogg's Chevrolet. As we do a quick little tour here, it is a little battered, and that's just because it's been out of the box for 20 years. You have the white here on the front, very busy hood with Kellogg's, cornflakes, and the mascot all hanging out on the front. Then on the side, you got this very slanted design where you got the green, the red, then the red 5, which is slanted that way, and then the red that slants not just from down here, but all the way up to the top of the car. Then you got Kellogg's here, then you got nothing on top, and then you got the side here as well. Now again, I know some paint is chipped, but if you guys can see some of the older races that the 5 car is in, you guys will get a better understanding of what the car looks like. And actually here, I have a 1/24 scale of the same car. So if you guys want to maybe just pause it here and then maybe just listen to the rest of the 5 car review, then there you go. So anyway, back to this car here. The first thing I love about this car is good contrasting colors. Now this is like the problem I had with the Casey King car, is like there were 2 colors, but they just seem to blend together in not the good way. And so the red and the yellow, like you can tell they're 2 different colors. And I understand that there's also white on the Casey King car, but there's not enough white to really help make the car stand out more. And then the other thing I really love that they added was the decals. If you look on the front here, I love how Kellogg's, cornflakes, and the mascot are all evenly placed so that they each have like, you can move your eye around the piece and there's nothing that really juts out. Only thing, maybe exception, is maybe Corny, which is the name of the mascot here, as he's green, but otherwise I think it's evenly dispersed. And then you got Kellogg's here on the side, and just how big it is, it really makes the car feel much more complete. Now in terms of design, I love the slant design. I love how they're able to make the red go to the side like that. It's such a unique design. Like, you would think like the whole car would be like tilted like forward or something like that, but no, it works and it's very pretty because of that. And honestly, I'm a sucker for yellow, honestly. And so because of that, it is a very, very unique looking car. And I'm really glad that this car won the championship back in 1996. And so the final thing I want to say about this car is that the company does get the message across. It is Kellogg's, it is cornflakes, not Frosted Flakes. Because remember, it was cornflakes for a time, and then in 2001, that's when Terry Labonte then drove a Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, not cornflakes. And then you notice like some of the colors changed, so instead of going yellow and red, it was more blue, orange, and black. Which is fine, and I'll probably review that car down the road, but right now the focus is on this car. And so because of that, we know like the cornflakes box, we know that there's yellow and red and green. And we know that the focus of this car is the actual cereal box, not the mascot. And the reason I bring this up is that true Corny is here, and you got that little bit of green, and then that green is replicated with this stripe here. Now, I think it was 97 or 98, Terry Labonte did drive a separate Corny car, and like the focus is, again, the rooster, except it's like ginormous and it goes all the way across the car. I could probably review that car sometime down the road too. But the point is, this car is not promoting the mascot, it's promoting the cereal. Kellogg's Cornflakes. And going back to the previous arguments on the previous cars, we know it's cornflakes. We know it's cereal. We don't have to guess what this car is trying to promote. So overall, very beautiful car, very unique car. I am glad it's made, and Terry Labonte's 1997 car gets 5 stars. So to put a little wrap on this, I'll put the 2 cars together here, make sure they crash into each other because that's cool. But so there you go. The one thing I would like to kind of show a difference in, look at the number styles, because this is from the same team, and that is Hendrick Motorsports. But look how, with the Kellogg's car, how it's slanted this way. But then in 2001, that's where this number style changed. What I wonder is, was this the normal style, and then this was just there because of Kellogg's Cornflakes? Or I don't even know what the deal is. But then what's weirder is when you turn the cars around, they both are pointed in the same direction. So that's kind of interesting, something to look at. So yeah, those are the 2 cars, Casey King's 5 car, the most recent 5 car, and then the first 5 car that I have. So what do you guys think of Terry Labonte and Casey King's cars? Are they beautiful? Are they ugly? Please let me know in the comments down below. Also let me know if there's any other cars that you would like to see in future episodes. and I will greatly consider them. So thank you guys so much for watching. It's always been greatly appreciated. And as always, I will see you next time.